Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. Let me begin by telling you a humorous little story. I think it's true. Story. Our elder daughter Kaz lives in Wales, and you may well know if you visited Wales recently that there is a law now in force that all road signs have to be written in both English and in Welsh. Welsh, as I understand it, isn't an altogether easy language to learn. I suppose English isn't either. But anyway, uh, Welsh and English road signs. So the story goes that there was a road sign that needed to be created that to the effect that in a certain road, heavy goods vehicles were not allowed down this road. And the people who were creating the sign wanted to discover what the equivalent Welsh wording was, and they weren't Welsh speakers, but they had a translator who was who usually they sent off the English words to the translator by email and got the response so they could create the sign. And so this sign said no heavy goods vehicles down this road or something similar. So they got the wording in English and emailed it off to the translator. Not long after they'd emailed it, response came back in Welsh. So they had the sign created and stuck it up on this road, and it caused great amusement because the response from the translator wasn't the translation of the English "no heavy goods vehicles." It actually said, "I apologise, but I'm currently out of the office." So here was this road sign. English words, "no heavy goods vehicles." Welsh words, "I'm sorry, but I'm currently out of the office." So I'm sure that caused great amusement to any Welsh speakers or readers who who came across it. Anyway, I've been thinking recently about that episode where Moses goes up Mount Sinai and meets with God. And when Moses comes back, unbeknown to him, his face is shining with something of that glory of God. We're told that Moses spoke with God as a man speaks with his friend. There was that intimacy, that closeness of relationship between Moses and God. And that resulted in his face actually shining. There was a clear evidence of Moses meeting with God. And that put something of a fear in the hearts of the people who saw Moses' face, although must have been some kind of an awe, I guess. And I've been thinking about in relation to the story in the Gospels where Jesus goes to Bethany, to the home of his friends Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, and he's excuse me, is sitting down and is with his disciples. And as you probably know the story, Mary goes and sits at the feet of Jesus. She's longing to be with Jesus, to hear his words. That is her heart's desire. And normally it would only be the men who would do that. So she's kind of upsetting social custom, but Jesus certainly doesn't object. And so Mary's there listening, soaking in every word from the lips of Jesus. Martha, meanwhile, is the text says she was distracted by all the preparation. So she was busy getting a meal ready, I presume, for Jesus and the disciples, and she's a bit worked up because she's having to do this without Mary's help. Mary's sat listening to Jesus. Martha's busy in the kitchen, and eventually she comes in to the meeting and says, "Jesus, don't you care that my sister's left me to do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." It's a bit presumptuous, really, of Martha, isn't it? A, casting doubt on whether Jesus is bothered, and B, almost commanding him what to do. Tell my sister to come and help me. And Jesus turns to Martha and says, "Martha, Martha, you're worried and upset by these things. You're distracted. Mary's actually chosen the better thing." See, Martha wasn't about something that didn't matter. It was she was wanting to prepare a nice meal for Jesus and his disciples. It was a good thing, but Mary had chosen the better thing. She desired above everything else to be in the presence of Jesus, to receive from him. I wonder if that is our heart's desire above everything else. Do we put Jesus first? Do we carve time out of our day to spend time with Jesus? I'm really enjoying going out for a walk early morning because I listen to, as I've said before, Nicky Gumbel's Bible in a Year as I'm walking, and then possibly a praise CD. It's not a CD, but some praise music on my phone. And when I come back, I've got a couple of devotional books. So, in a sense, for some of us, this lockdown is giving us less excuse not to spend specific time in the presence of the Lord Jesus, reading the scriptures, coming before God in prayer, listening to what God might be saying to us. And the reality is, I love reading biographies, particularly biographies of Christians through the years. Men and women of God have accomplished wonderful things, sometimes weak, ordinary people, but God has used them. And so often they say how vital, how central prayer is to their whole life and ministry. We have a hurting, needy world around us, so desperately needing we who are followers of Jesus to live out the authentic Christ-like life, to show compassion and kindness and wisdom, and to reach out with the arms of love. But we can only really fully do that if that comes from our relationship with Jesus. Everything else flows from that. And if we're not giving time to building up that relationship, then how can we give away to others what we're not receiving ourselves? Any relationship needs time and commitment. We need to earnestly seek to grow deeper and deeper in our relationship with the Lord Jesus. There's a story, isn't there, in the Gospels of the Transfiguration, Peter, James and John with Jesus up the mountain. And Jesus, it's as if the curtains peel back and they see him in all his glory, that sparkling whiteness, and they're overawed. And it must have been an awesome experience. But then they come down from the mountaintop. And sometimes we may have mountaintop experiences, that intimacy, that real sense of closeness with God. But then we have to go into the valley, because after the hilltop, mountainside, comes the valley. And as Simon Gilbo says, it's in the valley that the true battle is played out. We're called to live for Jesus, to be truly his disciples. But all that, and fruitfulness, true fruitfulness, Jesus said, if you abide in me, you will bear much fruit. So fruitfulness in our Christian lives has to come from our abiding in him, our commitment to seek his face, to spend time in his presence. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today. My prayer is that for each of us, there'll be a growing desire to draw close to Jesus and be a witness for him, that our lives, our faces may shine with the light of his love and his presence. God bless you.